I want to spend a hot minute talking about exercise during IVF cycles. Sylvie's going to help me because I know a lot of fertility clinics, not to mention the internet, dole out all or nothing, extreme, mixed messages about this topic. One doctor says strict bed rest, another says just live normally, and then there's your aunt who swears that her friend's cousin's daughter got pregnant after taking up competitive weightlifting. So, let's dive into what the actual evidence says. Spoiler, it's not extreme, it's pretty common sense. Have you been told to completely stop exercising during fertility treatments? Let me know what you've been told in the comments. Let's talk about it. So evidence-based exercise during fertility treatments or for fertility boils down to two main things. If you've taken any of my classes or watched other videos, you can probably already guess what they're going to be. Number one is moderation. Number two is customization. So let's break each one down. I'll share the research. Number one, moderation. So lots of exercise redirects our energy from our reproductive organs towards the workout. So long distance running, lengthy HIIT workouts, anything that feels hardcore needs to be toned down. But that's not the same thing as saying don't run or no cardio. So what does moderate actually mean? In general, I want you to think about it being a level where you can still carry on a conversation while moving. Put yourself around a 3 to a 5 on a 10-point exertion scale. And this is very important. Your body should feel energized afterwards, not depleted. Think about your body and your reproductive function like a smartphone running multiple apps at the same time. You want enough battery power for the important processes like making healthy eggs and ovulating. Exercise can be really helpful, but if you're running so much power draining exercise at the same time, your battery's going to be more depleted. Now, vigorous exercise also means very different things to different people. So here's what some of the studies actually say counts as too much exercise. Running 2 or more hours or 15 plus miles per week, going into any caloric deficit, that's where you eat fewer calories than you burn, exercising so intensely that it affects ovulation, like you stop ovulating, you ovulate irregularly, or you notice that the second half of your cycle from ovulation to your period is getting shorter than 10 days. These are signs of either exercise-induced functional hypothalamic amenorrhea, or FHA, or luteal phase defect, which, spoiler alert, neither are good for fertility. Now here's some more things that the research tells us. A study published in Fertility and Sterility found that women who exercised more than 4 hours per week at high intensity had lower implantation rates and live birth rates compared to those women who did moderate, or low intensity movement. Another study in the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology found that regular, moderate exercise helped regulate hormones and reduce stress while trying to conceive, both of which supported improved fertility. A 2020 meta-analysis in Reproductive Biomedicine Online found that moderate exercise improves pregnancy rates in women who are undergoing IVF, especially for those people with conditions like PCOS, where there's an element of insulin resistance often at play. And for pregnancy after infertility, remember, this is not just about getting pregnant. The research suggests that consistent moderate exercise during pregnancy is linked to lower rates of complications like gestational diabetes and preterm birth. Sylvie. So no exercise and too much exercise are both less than ideal, and it's about finding your sweet spot. Let me share something that really drove this home for me. A long time ago, I had a client coming in for her third and final embryo transfer. And when I asked her how she was doing and what I needed to know about her prior cycles up to that point, the first thing out of her mouth was, "Not exercising is the worst part. I hate it. I feel like I'm losing my mind." So out of all of the challenging parts of IVF and repeat embryo transfer failures, not exercising was what felt like it was breaking her. So I highly encouraged her to exercise during her final transfer, moderately, of course. She was nervous, she did it anyways, and guess what? She had her best lining ever and got and stayed pregnant. Now, special note here, if you're undergoing ovarian hyperstimulation, this is where you're injecting medications, this is the one time that you absolutely need to take it easy. Once your ovaries start getting bigger than usual, you need to avoid anything high impact or intense until either you have a period and start a new cycle and your ovaries have reset, or your doctor clears you if you get pregnant right away. This is because when you're stimming with outside injectables, your ovaries are bigger than they would be naturally, which increases the risk of torsion, which is painful and can require emergency surgery. So this is the one time where exercise caution is actually legit and key. So let's get into number 2, customization. Customization is about taking into account your personal fitness level, your lifestyle, your habits, how your body responds to movement. Not everyone needs the same modifications, and what works for one person might not be the right thing for the other person. There goes Sylvie. She's going to look at some squirrels. So I worked with another client who was really used to running 3 or more miles every day. We've worked together through 4 IVF pregnancies, including one with twins, and she has run through all of them. I never suggested she had to stop. Instead, I just asked her to keep an eye on her mental health, her actual energy levels, and physical symptoms like nausea. She found her sweet spot by running about half the distance she normally would at half her usual intensity, and she had totally healthy full-term pregnancies, including with the twins. Interestingly, before she worked with me, she'd had one prior pregnancy with significant complications, and that pregnancy she hadn't exercised at all because she had a very cautious doctor advising her not to. So, if you already exercise very regularly, you don't need to stop, you just need to adjust the intensity and type. If you're used to high impact workouts, switch to some more moderate impact options like interval running and walking, or dialing down the intensity of the running, or yoga and strength training. And if you're new to exercise, this isn't the time to start an intense new program. Stick with starting with something gentle and moderate like walking, yoga, swimming, lifting weights, as long as it feels good and you check in with your energy level. Think about exercise as a tool for stress relief, pelvic circulation, and overall well-being, not something you need to push your limits with right now. Be sure to take it easy from about day 3 of stimulation medications through either week 10 of pregnancy if you do a fresh transfer and get pregnant right away, or from about day 3 of stimming through getting your next period if you don't do a transfer or get pregnant. This is going to help you minimize your risk of ovarian torsion. If you're unsure about any of this, check in with your fertility specialist, or even better, a professional who understands both the reproductive health implications and the holistic ripples and benefits like me, who can connect the dots and help you find the balance that is whole person, evidence-based, and the best for you. And my final thought is this: if exercise is your main or only stress coping mechanism, it's really important to expand your skill set. Learn about some other ways to reset your stress cycles and offset what I call clenchiness, which is human and normal. Head over to my stress and fertility video next to discover some more ideas around this. I'll put more in the description. So what are your go-to stress relieving movements during fertility treatments? I hope you're doing them. If you haven't, what do you think about adding them? You do not need to stop moving entirely. Just listen to your body, stay out of that super intense zone, and keep your energy balanced to support your fertility. If you've got some questions, drop them in the comments. And if you found this helpful, please, I would love you to like and subscribe for more evidence-based fertility content. I'll see you in the next video.